Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Falcon here. Today we're going to be talking about the Gladiator's Glory patch notes that are going to be coming out May 12th in a theater near you. May 12th. Come to think of it. Yep, that's next week. Wait, no, that's not next week. That is 2 weeks from now. Ooh. Jeez, that's a while. But let's go ahead and jump into what we have to talk about. We're going to skip the arena, we're going to skip the Anubis rework, and we're talking about god skins. The first one is going to be Solid Hornet, a Muzen Cob. This is a limited time skin that you're going to be getting for Season 2 League achievement, winning 20 matches in a League queue. I don't like this per se, because it's going to get people who necessarily don't want to play League to play League, and it's just never a good thing to do. But they're doing it, and here's a picture of the card, as you can see. Next, we're going to talk about Killer B, a Muzen Cob. This is another really cool skin that they're doing for him. It's a 250 gem skin, along with the chalk one as well, which is a 250 chalk skin. Both of which look really awesome. The AMC one is very just badass looking, let's be honest. Bees for days, I love my AMC. The chalk one is also really, really cool. And, you know, Boom Chakalaka is a very fantastic name. I love everything about both of these. Would I use them over other skins? Yeah, probably. I'm not really a fan of Chalk's other skin, and AMC... yeah, I like this one better. And then we have Kumbhakarna Yeti. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce all of that. It is a giant Yeti skin. Yay, Yetis! Getting some love. Both of this one and the AMC one come with voice packs, which are really, really cool. Then we have a Anubis update. Here is his card. And, well, some footage of him probably as well, just for a short duration while we talk about him. Again, all of the stuff that you see here will be at the end of the video in better format so that you can see everything. This is to give you the basic view of everything that is coming up. And then jumping to, we got some emotes. Anubis Clap and Anubis Wave, of course. You know, you get some new looks, might as well update him a little bit. Let's talk about the UI changes. There is nothing really to see here. This is all basically stuff that most of us would never even notice. Chest tab layout in the store has been redone to better show exclusive content in each chests. Fixed tooltips not showing in slotted achievements. Blah blah blah. Readjust tooltips persisting when they shouldn't. Fixed clan members time offline status not updating. Fix the arrow overlay level in clan page. Blah. Again, this is all minor stuff that really can't, you know, whatevs. But let's talk about something that is really important. Gameplay changes. The range in which you get golden experience from minions and jungle camps has been increased from 60 to 80 yards. Or units is what they use, but they simplify with yards or feet sometimes. What this really is going to be mainly affecting Conquest. Originally, they did it so that it would encourage fighting, but really it just wound up hurting the support, so they reverted it back to its old state of 80 yards to better help out supports, because, you know, supports. They get kind of screwed over. Moving on, we have an increased gold bounty cap limit from 500 to 750 gold. What this means is if a player is ahead, say they are level 20, and you're level 10, and say they have 10 kill streak or something, you managed to get a kill on them, you would get a max of 500 gold. Now they're bumping that up to 750 gold to better just try to catch people up and make it a little bit better for players in the long run. Again, this is all testing. If it works out, or if it seems like it helps a little bit, they might increase it more later. Some miscellaneous changes that we have. Season 2 League icons have been added. Event Center. This basically just tells you all the bonuses you get, you know, from your daily login or from leveling up. You now get certain little benefits like rented characters that you can test out for a certain amount of time, and some skins and stuff as well. Just a really cool feature Players can once again earn first win of the day rewards for league queues. However, whenever there is a gem event, you can get the gems from the league queue, but there's going to be a cap on the amount of gems you can get so that you are not required to do so. A very important change, I think, since it means that people aren't going to be mucking up league, which is always a nice thing. Next thing we have is a few item changes and a bug fix. The first of which being Achilles' Spear has been made to be a little bit better early game. The cooldown has been reduced to 30 seconds, and it no longer take extra damage from minions. It's only from gods. Basically, they're looking at trying to push this as another opportunity or another way for people to build. If you're an in-hand character who does lots of auto attacks, say a Kali, you might pick this up as a starting active instead of Hand of the Gods 2. So you go Bumba's Mask, Achilles' Spear, and use this to clear. Will it work? Well, that's what the PTS is for. I think it will be interesting and maybe fun to try out. Next we have Bancroft's Talon. Bug fix, just showing you your basic attack damage whenever you gain or lose health on the HUD. Before it didn't show. Talaria Boots and Traveler's Boots are getting the same change, plus Traveler's Boots is getting one more. Talaria Boots no longer provide bonus experience. This is kind of big. It kind of sucks in a way for the poor the poor supports, but it does mean that not everyone else is going to be picking these up and, kind of sucking it up and keeping up either way. However, Traveler's Boots is also losing 10 additional power, meaning that only really supports are going to want to pick this item up. Too many times junglers, and even I experienced it in Arena, buying this item on Medusa, and then just literally never, just not doing anything particularly well, buying stupid crazy builds, and just being able to keep up and surpass the enemy team, and keep up with a guy who had 12 kills more than me. Yeah, just completely ridiculous. That said and done, let's go ahead and move on to gods and balances and updates and fixes and stuff. Alpooch fixed his VVGG command of ending abruptly and updating the accuracy of Surge of Corpse Targeter. I don't know how many people really noticed this, but there were times when you would actually shoot off the projectile and it would hit something it wasn't supposed to hit. And that's because the projectile targeter really didn't always accurately show where it was supposed to go. So, bug fix, not really game breaking or anything, or changing at all. Moving on, we have some Agni's tooltips being fixed for those cooldowns. Oelix is getting some bug fix on her passive, wherever she would go into combat or leap into combat, but she wouldn't get the bonus power on her attack. Moonlight Charge no longer. This is actually a nerf. It's a fix, but it's a nerf to her. Moonlight Charge no longer triggers Magi's Blessing or Spirit Robes whenever she does not actually do the knockup. So if you're facing her and it hit you, it would remove your Magi's Bubble or it would proc Spirit Robe. So that's been fixed. The first real change, Bakasura. So his tooltip or his minions would do 20 damage before per minion. So attack, per attack, 20 damage. Now they only do 15, so slight nerf, just slight. His level 5 engagement won't be as strong as it was before, which I'm perfectly okay with, because screw Bakasura. Bellona. Her Shield Bash no longer gives her stacks of her passive. So that's good, whenever she hits a minion with it. Only gods. Eagle Rally, her ultimate when she leaps, now has 4 seconds knocked off the top end. Which is really good, because it was ridiculous. It really was. It's just silly. It's still silly. Moving on, Cabrakan. The walls now appear instantly as soon as he hits his ult, which is awesome. I don't think it's really going to change him much, but I still think that it's great. It does mean now that people won't be able to, as easily dash out before it lands or stun him while he's doing it. So it's definitely a buff in a way, but I don't know if it's really going to help him out or not. Giannis fixed exploits of getting gods on top of collisions. I don't know why. That sounds awesome. Sylvanas. You notice whenever you auto-attack something, they get knocked back a little bit? Well, Sylvanas no longer does that with his auto-attacks because, you know what, he gets to do AoE auto-attacks. Why should he get to knock minion back as well and make them easy to stack up? So he's taking a slight nerf in this effect. He'll still be the same guy he is, but not as efficient early on. And then Chang'e, getting some fixes to his stuffs, his basic attacks. Now then, let's go ahead and talk about Arena. My favorite game mode. It's getting its second major update. A lot of people didn't like the nighttime, apparently. I don't know why. I loved it, but whatever. And so they have been working since, God, forever. I forget what time he said, but they've been working for a while to fix it. And so now the arena is literally Roman. Like, it doesn't have the different Pantheon stuff. It's Roman. And it looks amazing. And I think the only way I can really justify showing this is for me to shut up and then just play the footage of Diego Loki, the main artist guy, doing the work on it. And just have all the footage up, because I feel like that's really the only way to go over this as well as can be noted. Notably, hashtag blame Adonis, as was posted in many of the video footage that you've seen in this video. And also, his love of pentakills. You'll see what that means during the little thing. And then after that, we'll have the rest of the footage come up that I think that was really cool, the various skins and whatnot. Because I can't show full durations because I'm trying to make a video. So the rest of it will be added on to the end, and if you want to watch it all, you can. If not, you learned what you needed to learn. And I hope, as always, guys, you subscribe if you like this. If you don't, let me know why down in the comments. Talk about the patch. What do you think of the new arena? Yada, yada, yada. Make sure you subscribe, like the video. It helps me out tremendously. I love your faces. What other things can I steal from other people? I don't know. But most importantly, guys, have yourselves a wonderful day and enjoy the rest of the video.
It's going to be Anubis that's going to be piloting around. And, well, let's take a look. So what are we looking at kind of here? Obviously, just the base. What was kind of the thoughts for where the gods spawn and what this kind of safe haven is?
Well, we wanted to make sure, like, as the gods came out, that they had kind of an impressive area, but at the same time, the arena has a very large base. Safe. So make sure that clear, like, separation between, where your store is, where you're safe, where your territory is versus the rest of the battle area.
So yeah, I mean, you can see Anubis is kind of exploring the back area here, and it's just, before it was kind of like, you're in a sand pit, go fight, and here it's like, okay, we're like really a part of this Colosseum. So he's crossed the threshold now, and well, one of the things that like immediately I noticed there as he walked out was there doesn't seem to be like those vestigial towers anymore.
Right, so we wanted to make sure the gameplay was really clear, and that was one of the confusing things, especially for new players. We teach you in so many game modes that you see a tower, you see something attacking you, you see something in the gameplay space, go destroy it, and it's an objective. And that wasn't the case with the arena. And so what we've done is there's these statues, these Strix, which is like a three-headed owl that like basically kills people. That's above the doorways where the minions are now coming out, and that's basically doing the same thing. So the gateway is still protected. The functionality of the tower from a gameplay perspective is still there, but we've kind of removed that gameplay messaging that was kind of not accurate.
Got you. So whereas before it was kind of a tower that you couldn't hit, now it's the minion portal. You still can't be camped in that area. So now as he moves out into the arena, obviously, well, the main thing that you notice here is, the new statues, some new art, but this bad boy right here. Tell me a little bit about what appears to be a very large angry boar.
Right, so as we were approaching this, we wanted to make sure that NPCs communicated what they were. And so with the arena, the Gladiator kind of feel, we kind of went back and forth, talked to animation, talked to the character group, and kind of came up with this idea with these beasts. And so for the attack speed camp, you have this giant kind of fantasy board to deal with. For the damage camp, you have a lion. And then for the mana camp, you have this kind of electric, magic basilisk to kind of deal with. And so definitely a lot better. It kind of separates the buff camps from the minions and the brutes and the other kind of gladiator kind of elements from it, but fits in with the overall theme.
So this is the lion now we're looking at here at the damage camp. You can see he's a proud yet shackled beast. And over on the other side there, it's the energy camp, or the mana camp is a basilisk. And I mean, do you have a personal favorite? And well, I guess here's an interesting question. Like, did these come out of character art, or did these come out of environment art, out of the department?
So all of our maps that we work with are cross-discipline. And so we work with the character group, we work with animation, VFX, gameplay. I mean, it's across the board. So these specific creatures, all the NPCs that you see in the map came through our character group. So the same talented people that bring us our gods, bring us our skins, their craft we see now in all the levels.
So I noticed there, as he ran past, it looked like it's actually a different set of minions as well in this map. Is that true?
Right. So as we're kind of approaching each map, we want to kind of go back, take a look at it, make sure, like, look at the lore, make sure it's Roman, and at the same time also improve some of the gameplay messaging. And so in this cases, we wanted the minions to be very Gladiator, very Roman, but at the same time kind of stand out from each other, so you have a clear distinction of which ones are your minions versus the enemy's minions. Yeah,
it seems pretty clear. So what we haven't seen yet is the towers, which I assume have had a very kind of different application. And as these guys kill each other, I'm sure we'll get a chance to see them. But just kind of overall aesthetically, you kind of mentioned it a bit earlier, but it seems much more of a Roman map, where before, you know, it was like, I just, in my mind, and specifically see the marketing art, where it was like a pedestal for each pantheon on the arena map background, and this one looks just, it seems so more lore-based and kind of more about maybe what an actual Colosseum would have looked like. What was kind of the process of I guess, art history of drumming this one up?
So one of the things that, you know, I mean, we've got great cultures. We've got these great pantheons. We've got a lot of lore to pull from. And sadly enough, like, I mean, the Colosseum, obviously, you know, it's arena, Colosseum, Rome, and it brings you to it. The nighttime arena, while beautiful and obviously, like you said, brought in a lot of the pantheons, a lot of the different colors, it kind of lost the fact that this is Rome's home. So we really wanted to make this map Roman, the same way we've made Conquest Greek and Siege, you know, Mayan, and so forth. So that was kind of a really big deal. We went back, looked at the architecture, looked, you know, for inspiration, you know, back with the actual pantheon and with the culture, and really wanted to make sure that came through, not only on a large scale in the fact that it looks like a Colosseum, but also on the small details, the little sculptures, the drawings, and the other elements that are in the map.
Yeah, the size, just the scope of the arena is so much larger, right? Just like the vertical elements and the multi-layered seating and all that. And as we were seeing there for just a minute, the way that these the minions kind of leave the battleground now is obviously very different. We see them kind of being warped and sucked into the portal. So we kind of talked about this a little bit earlier, and you had some really interesting kind of insight as to why this was the case. So can you break down the difference between the old portal and new portal in this map?
Yeah, it's really become the focus. And so you may have just caught, like, as those minions kind of got over there, the destruct states are there. So, you know, we no longer have the big angels that sit back into the stands out of gameplay. The focus now is at the portal. It's within gameplay, and instead of your minions running over there just to kind of cross the finish line to get a ticket for the gameplay model, they're actually going to attack the enemy portal. And so as you watch the minions go in, they'll go up, they'll run up, they'll hit or try to hit or break the orbs that are kind of creating the portal for the enemy side. Or as you see here, our replacement for our tower. As he comes in, he's got this massive bomb, which kind of explains a little bit why he's worth so much more in the gameplay mode. But of course, the portal's strong, and so after they attack, they get kind of sucked in. As you do better, as your tickets kind of increase or decrease as far as kind of going through, the destruct states will happen with the portal. You'll actually visually see how well you're doing and, you know, how well your portal's doing versus the other side, and of course, the gameplay ends with the destruction of the enemy portal.
So once, like, the minions kind of move into the position where they're hitting it, or the tower replacement bomb guys throwing the bomb, they're out of play at that point, right?
Right, yeah, so there's a kind of a clear mark there. You can see it's both in VFX and in the environment. That was one of the issues, like, I personally have as far as playing with the current one. Sometimes it's not so clear because they kind of stop right before they get to the VFX in the current arena of when you can still save the day, when you can still get in front of them, when you can't. And so that's one of the things we really wanted to do with this map, is make sure it's a very clear distinction of, like, oh, you still have a chance versus, like, oh, too late, you know, you've lost those points.
I just want to point out what we just saw as well. We'll get back to kind of the overall idea of maintaining game mode. But you saw there the entrance of the Basilisk here at the mana camp, and just kind of the portcullis, and, like, it's like they're actually being entered into the map versus they appeared. So, I mean, just kind of like overall, that those polished pieces seem to be something that we are able to do much better now as we continue to iterate on our maps. So, like, I guess, can you take us through just a little bit of, like, the synthesis of these kind of ideas? Like, you're in a meeting and someone's like, wouldn't it be cool if? So, like, how did some of this stuff come to be?
Well, we do, essentially, a lot of the directors get together and we pull information from our teams and ideas and brainstorming. But we basically get together, and one of the big focuses with all of our maps is how can we improve the gameplay, you know, support the fun that is in the gameplay and then within the map, within the mode, make messaging clear, but then also increase immersion. And so we've gotten together and we're like, okay, well, how can we make this feel better? How can we make this make sense? And in this case, it was like, you know, as we were talking about with like the portal, like changing that to an attack versus just running through a portal, you know, making, you know, all of those other changes and elements kind of supporting that. With the buff camps, as far as how they come in, you know, we don't want people just popping into existence. We want that to feel good, to fit the theme of the map and kind of go the right way. And so the idea of bringing them up from underneath was a very kind of like, you know, Roman gladiator kind of feel that kind of went into the Colosseum. And so from that point, it's like, okay, how do we do that? And we'd brainstorm with animation, brainstorm with the character group, definitely brainstorm with the level designers and kind of figure out, like, how do we do this without breaking gameplay? How do we do this without introducing bugs? But at the same time, make sure we get that feel.
So, and don't answer this if you don't want to, or you can, but how long does this kind of like process take? Like, when was like, from concepting to kind of this final now nearly shipped product, like what was the timeline and what was the path to getting here, and how does like, what were the checkpoints along the way, or any kind of insight you can give us into what tripped you up, or any kind of, you know, fun little tidbits?
Sure. So this map we knew we were doing. We've known since last fall. It was kind of weird going into the World Championship and obviously all the hype and the talk about Season 2 and the Conquest map, knowing we were hitting Arena next. At the same time, with the Season 2 changes and with some of those other elements, you know, Conquest kind of ran a little bit longer than we kind of expected, so we kind of got started a little bit late. But essentially since Season 2 launched is kind of when we started this map. And it starts with a lot of concept, it starts with a lot of reference gathering, and then we very quickly block it out. And so we've been actually playing on this new map for months. And sometimes that's down, sometimes there's bugs, sometimes, you know, programming, you know, kind of needs to work on some of the new features for the character stuff and get through. But we've been playing it pretty steady. And especially as we're getting closer to release, it going out to PTS, we've been dealing with performance and just making the overall map, polishing, finding the bugs, and we've been playing it multiple times a day.
Well, thank you very much, Thomas, for the insight into the arena map, guys. That is... Well, has been Thomas. Thomas is, you can find him on Twitter at Loki_Diego.
I believe it's underscore.
Yeah, I think it's LOKI_DIEGO. You can find him on Twitch as well at HighResHolt. In your streams, giving you hell. So, yeah, lurking. He's a lurker. But yeah, guys, that does do it for the patch notes here today. We will be tossing it over now for a little bit of esports update.
Excellent! Excellent! I am ashamed! There is no future, no past. Find your purpose. No more screams. This must be a trick. No, it cannot be. Do what must be done. You are powerful indeed. But I know your weak points. I hear them in my head. The screams! Maybe killing you will make them stop.
Well,
sorry. Good game. Good luck. Quiet. That's too bad. Curses. Have fun. Curses. Come, look into my eyes and gaze upon death. It swayed your heart, and you have been found wanting.